Good morning, friends. How are you guys? Everybody doing well? I see lots and lots and lots of familiar faces, which is always delightful. So excited that you guys have joined us. We don't do a ton of collaborations inside of the Ops Insiders. So it takes somebody very, very special to for us to collaborate with. And we're extremely thoughtful, as you guys have probably learned to know and trust in us and who it is that we're bringing in. It's what we do, what operators do is so unique and is something that truly is, um, it takes an operator to know an operator. And then for me to be thoughtful with the audience and the people that have known and trusted us, I want to be intentional with who I'm bringing in. So I'm always looking for people who understand the mind and the workings of an operator. If you guys are here, then you have come to a phenomenal training where my friend Kate is going to walk you through how to leverage and grow your business without frankly, the annoyance of social media. So the thing that I love about Kate is Kate has had, just like all of us, we've all had many lives, right? I've certainly had many lives, and some of the things that I have really valued about knowing Kate, which I've known Kate for a long time in internet life, but I have followed her journey, and we actually crossed paths at a different part of her journey, and her a different part of my journey. But Kate has been a service provider. Kate has been a coach, and Kate has pivoted her business. How many times do we talk about pivoting our businesses? And I know that for all of us, like that is one thing that will continue to happen. I always say the only thing that's constant in business is change. And so if you're here, I trust that you are taking your operational skills and leveraging those to build an offer, which many of us have done inside of the DOO program. And many of you guys maybe haven't come through the program and are still doing the same thing. We're taking our skills and we're creating an offer to build a foundation for us to be able to monetize that offer and create a business. And so if you listen to my podcast or if you've been around the block with me, you've probably heard my disdain for the pressure of social media, specifically for service-based businesses. We are not looking for for 1,000 clients. When you're selling something like a course, and maybe some of you guys who are here have the idea and have the want to be able to monetize you want to productize what you're doing right now and turn it into something that you can sell to thousands of people. But for the majority of service providers, we are looking for a handful to maybe two handfuls of clients, and that would be a lot. And to do that, I just feel like it's way overdrive to create a social media structure for yourself to be able to do that. And at the end of the day, I really doubt how the conversion of social media to a high ticket, high paying client really effectively is. We can have lots and lots of conversations about this, but I really wanted to turn it over to Kate, who has a phenomenal training. And again, I want to validate that she's the person that I am partnering with because number one, she's done this and she's proven it. Number two, she has been in the space of being a service provider. Yes, her business looks different today, and she might have the business type that you aspire to have as well, which is outside of what I do. So wanted to introduce all of you guys to my dear friend, Kate. This is a one-off training that we don't do often, and she's got some real goodness for you. So welcome, Kate.
Thanks, Nat. I appreciate it so much. I'm so happy to be here with y'all today. And you couldn't have said it better that social media is just such an annoyance for, I think, 99% of us, and the ROI just isn't there. So we're going to talk about it today. And Natalie's right. Like I am not technically a service provider today in the traditional sense, although I do sell services and coaching and one-on-one offers and things like that. So we're going to kind of talk about both and how you can productize some of the things in your business and also keep doing the service and providing the service that you love. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, but I love for this to just be more of a conversation than me talking at you. So please ask questions in the chat. Nat's going to be watching that for me. And we'll do most questions at the end, but if you have something like as I'm talking, I would love to just hear what's going on. Okay, great. Love it. So let me share my screen and make sure everybody can see. Thumbs up. Okay, awesome. So today we are talking about how to build your service-based business without social media. So let me move a couple things around on my screen that are blocking. Good old Zoom. Okay, and we are set. So before we dive in, I know that some of you are probably thinking, like, we've already addressed this, like, I'm not a course creator. I don't want to sell products. And you just want to provide your services. That's your expertise. That's what you love doing. And so what I want you to know is that you're still absolutely in the right place and you can still use the strategies that we're going to talk about today. And just to be crystal clear, I am not asking you to become a course creator. I'm not asking you to abandon your service-based business model. What I'm sharing today is how to use strategic entry points that make your services easier to sell and your clients easier to convert. And so I think the reality is that when someone finds you, whether it's through Google or however they land on your website, they have a problem, but they're not necessarily ready to invest $3,000 a month in an OBM or $2,000 for a VIP day with someone that they just discovered. So there's this gap between I have a problem and I'm ready to hire you. And I think that gap could be costing you clients every single day. And if you think about it, how many people have visited your website, maybe even gotten on your email list, but never booked a discovery call? They needed more time to get to know you, to trust you, to see how you work. And so there we go, to see how you work. And so these aren't products just for the sake of products. We're going to be talking about strategic relationship builders. So when someone invests in an easy yes product with you and they get a result, three things are going to happen. They become a buyer, and the hardest conversion is always the first one. They experience your expertise firsthand, no matter, you don't have to spend a lot of time explaining what you do. Now they've lived it. And three, you solved one problem, which reveals the bigger problems that they need ongoing help with. So I have a lot of clients that are going to use the model that we're going to talk about today, who have booked $5,000 retainer clients directly from a low ticket entry point offer. Not because they were trying to, trick somebody, but because they gave so much value in, let's say it's a mini audit or something like that, that the client said, this is what you do in 90 minutes. I need you managing my entire business. So the strategies I'm sharing today, the SEO, the email systems, the funnel ecosystem that we're going to be talking about, they work whether you're selling a $27 template or booking a $3,000 a month client. The only difference is what happens after someone raises their hand and says, I'm interested. So yes, service-based, keep doing what you love, but let's make it easier for the right people to find you, trust you, and hire you. Because right now, I think you're probably making it harder than it needs to be. And your expertise deserves a system that works as hard as you do. So I'm going to show you exactly how to build that system. Before we get into it, I just want to quickly introduce myself. Hi, I'm Kate Kordsmeyer. I am the founder of Success with Soul. And a little background on me is that I am a highly sensitive introvert. I have OCD, I have chronic illness, 2 small kids, 2 cats, 1 dog, and just limited capacity and energy to work all day. So if anybody understands the overwhelm and trying to do more with less, it is me. I have made 2.5 million since I went online in 2015. And some of that revenue actually came from my former blog, which was called Root and Rebel. I grew that to 250,000 page views a month without any paid ads. And I sold it actually in 2021 for multiple 6 figures. And what I did when I created Success with Soul is I took what I learned about generating free traffic to my website and I applied it to this new business, which was not a traditional blog. And it quickly became a multiple six-figure business using those same strategies, plus some new ones that I'm sharing here today. And I was able to do all of that off of social media. So I quit social media 100% in 2021. And then when I say that, I mean, I don't have the app on my phone. I don't post. I don't scroll, nothing. Like I am off the grid when it comes to social media. And I only work actually about 20 hours a week. I'm actually, today marks day 347 of making daily sales in my business and building a wait list for my services and my coaching. So again, no matter what you're selling, whether it is a product or a service, I think what I'm sharing here today, I know it can help you. And if you're somebody like me who has limited capacity, who hates social media, who wants a better way, and is looking for a way to make this a little bit easier and a little bit more fun, I think that you are going to be in for a real treat with the training today. So let's get into it. I want to start by talking about why a social media free business is a more sustainable strategy that will likely get you better results. So to start us off, I'd love to just know in the chat who here believes that they have to post on social media, like that it's mandatory. I have heard so many people say, all the way from Amy Porterfield to the girl next door, that if I didn't have to be on social media, I wouldn't be. Who here agrees with that? I'm just checking the chat to see what everybody thinks. Okay, Michaela thinks she does. Yeah. Anyone else feeling that, or are people starting to feel like maybe I don't need to be there. Maybe there is something to this. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people saying you think you have to. Yeah. Yep. Trying to avoid it at all costs, but lots of people thinking that they have to be there. So I just want to ask you, what if that weren't true? What would you do if it weren't true that you had to be on social media? Like, how valuable would that be to you? And again, I'm just going to pause and check the chat real quick to see, like, what would you do instead? Like, you'd love for that to be a reality. Why? What would you do with that time? What would it feel like? More time with your family, super valuable. That would be amazing. Yeah. I'd love to I think it's a good exercise to think about sometimes, of just like, man, I would be able, like Joe said, I'd be able to work on my growth systems more. Social media gives me the ick, totally. More mental space, more time living my life, read books instead of scrolling. Yes, I love it. Okay. Y'all are my people for sure. All right. So we know that there is a lot of psychological cost of social media. I mean, it is no secret now that the highly curated selfies and those damn filters lead to unrealistic beauty standards and lack of self-confidence. We know that social media causes depression and loneliness and anxiety. And there's so much FOMO, knowing what everyone else is up to all the time, especially when they're only sharing the good times. Like, it can just lead to a constant sense of discontentedness with your own life, or feeling behind, or feeling not enough, or feeling like, how come she can do this and get these results and I can't? Or, hey, she's doing this, maybe I should be doing this. Like, talk about shiny objects. Social media use literally shrinks your brain. You've probably already seen all the research that I just shared, about overuse of social media, shrinking our attention spans. There's new research being done that shows it is literally shrinking our brains, like making them physically smaller. And that alone may be enough reason to quit social media forever. But as an entrepreneur, I believe your mind is one of your most important assets, and you need it to keep generating those ideas, to keep showing up and serving your clients well, to take care of yourself and your family. And so just like you do for the rest of your body, you should regularly focus on building it up and keeping your mind as healthy as possible, not damaging it with unhealthy habits like too much social media. So as I mentioned, I quit social media in November 2021, and my business grew over 165% in the first year that I was social free. So the very first year, and I literally just stopped posting one day. It was just like, well, I'm done here. And my business literally grew. And that was in the first year. Now I still make multiple six figures a year, and I haven't posted anything in 4 years. So you do not need social media to create a successful business. It is truly 100% optional, probably not even as effective as you've been led to believe, even for online businesses. So I just want this to be your permission slip. You are allowed to quit social media forever. Your business does not have to suffer. And you don't have to choose between being on social media and having a growing, abundant, consistently profitable business. And so one of the things I want to talk about today is the fact that you might even find that not having social media and using other more reliable ways of increasing traffic to your website, of growing your email list, of making more sales, it will actually help give you more of what you want, more clients, more sales, more meaningful connection. And it's not just me, I promise. I'm not some crazy fluke out here. This is one of my clients, Christina. She's a health coach, so a service-based business owner. She said since she started working with me, she went from making $400 a month to now around $2,500 a month with no social presence, and she was still working a full-time job. She landed a $30,000 contract. And so I just want to show that this is possible for you too. I'm not a fluke. There are other people doing this. One of the reasons, and like I mentioned, I'm OCD. I love certainty. I love facts. I love knowing and just being fully aware. I feel like I need a lot of evidence before I'm willing to make a decision. So if anybody can relate to that, I'm sure having a lot of ops people here, you also love the data. So SEO gets more leads. According to HubSpot, organic search traffic drives 53% of website traffic compared to only 5% from social media, which makes sense if you think about it. These apps are designed to keep us on the app. They don't want you clicking away and leaving the app. So of course, when we're using it to grow our email list or to invite people to something or to sell something, it's really freaking hard to do because social media is designed to not get people to do that thing, to leave the app. So you might be able to grow a nice following there, maybe, but is it actually contributing anything to your bottom line? Well, what we've seen, the facts are, is that businesses that invest in content marketing like blogging, podcasting, YouTube, even Pinterest, which is all these are search-based content, these experience a 6 times higher conversion rate than those that do not. And again, this makes sense too, and is one of the reasons, like the sustainability of content marketing versus social media marketing is because the average lifespan of a blog post is around 2 to 3 years compared to the average lifespan of a social media post, which is about 3 hours. And that's even getting worse. These stats are actually like probably a year or two old now. I think now what we've seen is that if you are not paying Zuckerberg to get in front of your audience, then even the people that chose to follow you, right? Even those people aren't seeing your stuff. So organic search has an average conversion rate of 16%. Compare that to social media, less than 2%. There's so much more evidence that when you prioritize long form, evergreen content, that you are more likely to have a positive ROI on your effort compared to social media. So again, it's not just me that's seeing this. This is one of my clients, Delilah. She earned the most she has yet from her online business, fully replacing her teaching income and getting to 150,000 page views a month. That is almost, page views are a little bit different than unique visitors, but for lack of a better term right now, let's just say that is about 150,000 people coming to your site every single month. And you don't need anywhere near that kind of traffic to have a successful ops business, right? You could be good with 1,500 page views a month. What would that look like for your business? So ultimately, I challenge y'all to just track your time on social media and calculate its ROI. My guess is that the ROI doesn't justify the time spent. According to CoSchedule, marketers spend 16 hours a week on social media tasks. That is 2 whole work days spent on social media. And can you actually attribute sales and email subscribers and the metrics that actually matter to what you're doing on social media? Or is it a lot of busy work that makes you feel productive but isn't actually contributing to your bottom line? I think what we see is that most marketers cannot attribute a direct return on investment to their social media efforts. So I challenge you, track your own. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's working great for you and you love it. let's see, how many sales can you attribute, how many email subscribers, and how much time are you spending there every single day? I'm just going to check the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, distinction between content marketing and social media. Yes, I think of content marketing purely as long form, evergreen content that is findable by search, whether that person is searching on Google, YouTube, Pinterest, ChatGPT, it's findable by search. So yes, that is a huge difference between social media and content marketing in my definition. So I really think that social media could be the thing that is keeping you stuck rather than moving you forward. And if you're somebody that can relate to feeling like I'm spending hours of my time every week thinking about what to post, planning out content, writing content, engaging with the content after I post it, checking my stats, you are staying stuck in this cycle instead of actually moving your business forward. I say that lovingly. We've all been there, but I do believe that social media is keeping you stuck. And quitting social media for me and for many of my clients who have done the same, they find maximize focus and productivity because you don't have constant notifications and the need to check just one thing. You free up literal hours of your time in your week. And you also get quality over quantity in networking. So quitting social media pushes you to engage in more meaningful, targeted networking instead of adding followers who may never convert. You'll be doing coffee chats and discovery calls and consults and attending targeted events, speaking at things like maybe what I'm doing right now, speaking at some of my friends' audiences, speaking at summits, running webinars. There's all kinds of things that you can do that actually attract high value clients, and social media really is not one of them. You'll also find drastically improved mental health and improved decision making. So can vouch for this, and you really, I mean, I can't overstate the importance of this. I think what I didn't realize when I quit social media was how much time I would free up just in my brain, not from actual hours spent physically being on social. I mean, of course, there is that too, but this was actual time of just thinking about social media. And there's actually a study from the University of Pennsylvania that found that limiting social media use can lead to significant reductions in depression and loneliness, better mental health, equates to making smarter business decisions, because when you're not anxious or stressed, your decision-making skills are much more on point, which leads to much more profitable choices. Of course, you also have ownership of your audience when you focus on growing your email list on a platform you control. You're not at the mercy of ever-changing algorithms. So if for every $1 you spend on email marketing, you can expect an average return of $42. Owning your audience equals owning your revenue stream. And again, in-depth evergreen content instead of micro content that disappears or becomes irrelevant in a matter of hours. When you focus on that, you can shift to creating content that has a much longer shelf life and can become passive income streams rather than wasting it on quick turnaround content. So that's the kind of why behind why I think we should all try doing something else. There's pretty much nothing else in our businesses that we would say, I've been doing this for years and it hasn't worked. Let me just keep trying it, right? There's nothing else in life we would keep doing that way. We would say, clearly, this is a broken strategy and I need to try something else. But Meta is really, really good at marketing. And so they have led us to believe, they have convinced us all that we need to be here. And it's simply not true. So what I did when I decided to officially leave social, I quit in 2021. In the spring of the following year, I was like, okay, I think it's important for me to have some kind of presence on social without having to ever be there personally. So how could I do this? And I thought about how a lot of times when people are deciding if they want to work with you, I hate this, but it's true. They will literally type your name into Instagram, right? And then see if you're like legit. They might check how many followers you have, but more so they're checking like, what's your content like? What are you talking about? Are you somebody that they might vibe with? And so I created the static 9 grid on Instagram, and I just created a visual display of 9 posts that never changed. I posted them one time 5 years ago, or almost 5 years ago now, and it just lives there forever. And you can see in my last post here, I tell them I'm not on social media anymore. This is my welcome mat, but it is not where I hang out. Here's where you can actually find me. Here's where I can help you. Here's how I can help you. Here's the problems that I solve. I basically turned my Instagram profile into a little mini website. And when I did that, it helped me maintain a presence so that when people found me, they could see, oh, this girl's legit. I do want to work with her. I like what she's sharing here. They could see, oh, she hasn't posted in 4 years, but not because, she went out of business or because something is wrong, but because she's choosing not to be on social. So I recommend, if you plan on leaving social, to set up a static 9 grid so that you can have that same kind of welcome mat for your people. And then you can send them to where you actually are hanging out and where you can actually help. So that's kind of step one for me in getting off social media, is creating this static 9 grid. You can even take it a step further. And in my course on static 9 grids, I teach how to set up some bot automation so that you can tell people, like, comment on this post to receive the freebie. And then my bot will respond when they comment. I even have a notification, or like a bot automation set up so that when somebody sends me a DM, it responds back and says, hey, this is Kate's bot. She's truly not on social media. If you want to get in touch, here's her email address and here's her website where you can find blah, blah, blah. So you can set it up so that you never feel like you're like ghosting your people also, or that people might be reaching out and just never hearing back from you. So we teach you how to do that in my static 9 grid course, but that's kind of like the next level of the static 9 grid. Even just starting by having one at all will be a game changer. Okay, so what to do instead? A lot of people feel like, if I'm not on social media, how will anybody find me? And I find this really ironic, because how many people are currently finding you on social media? It's so funny that, like, our brains are telling us this is the only way people find me, even when we are seeing the reality that it's not actually working. So I remind people of this, and then I give them lots of different ideas of what you can do instead that are much more sustainable. So we're going to talk a little bit about SEO, search engine optimization. Again, this is for even AI, ChatGPT, Claude, showing up in those results, showing up in Google or Bing or other search engines, Pinterest, YouTube, even podcasting has some SEO to it. So there's lots of different ways that you can create more long form searchable content to get found. Paid ads are another option. You don't have to do this. I have grown my business without paid ads, and I just started running ads this year for the first time in a long time. So it's absolutely not something that you have to do. And there's lots of platforms to do paid ads on. You can do it on social media. If you feel like that's where your ideal clients are, by all means, do ads on social media. That feels very different to me than having like an organic daily content strategy where you have to show up every day. There's also Google ads, Pinterest ads. I mean, there's ads for every platform out there. So paid ads, you can even advertise in other people's newsletters. So for example, if I know that Nat's audience is full of my ideal clients, I could pay Natalie to let me run an ad spot in her email list. You can also do this as more like an affiliate or a collaboration, which is the way Natalie and I are doing this right now. This is one of my very favorite strategies, which is basically borrowing somebody else's audience to grow yours. And I love this because it works even if you have nobody in your audience yet. You can do things like list swaps or more reciprocal collaborations like that, but you can also set up an affiliate program for your offers. And so if y'all buy something through Natalie's link for me, she's going to get a commission on the sale. And so she has an incentive to promote me, but she also has the discernment to say, I'm only going to work with people that I know, like, and trust, who I have personal experience with, who I know can get my clients good results. And it's just a great way to network and collaborate with other people. And again, borrow other people's audiences to grow your own. So I'm a huge fan of affiliates and collaborations. I also love doing bundles and summits. I have grown my email list by over 6,000 people in the last year, less than the past year, like 9 months maybe, just by participating in bundles and speaking at summits. So that is a great strategy. It's totally free and it's like immediate ROI, like search engine optimization and creating searchable content. I love it. Obviously, this is a huge part of my strategy, but it also is not immediate. It's more of a slow burn and the long game. You're not going to publish a blog post and immediately get 500 email subscribers, but you might speak on a summit and immediately get 500 email subscribers. So I think doing both can be really helpful. And just kind of picking and choosing which ones align with your energy, your goals, your preferences, your personality type, your capacity, all of those things. Getting featured in the PR and getting featured in the media or getting PR for your business is another great option, as is guest podcasting or guest blogging. So these are all some more sustainable strategies that I've done over the last few years. I'm not always trying to do all of them at the same time. I often do things in sprints or in, fits and starts. So I might say like, I'm going all in on bundles and summits. That's what I did last year. I'm going all in on this strategy. I didn't really post to my blog. I didn't really do a lot of other collaborations. I didn't run paid ads. I went all in on that strategy. It worked. I got 6,000 new email subscribers and made thousands of dollars from this strategy. But I was also, because I wasn't trying to do everything at the same time. So I want to just share that because I'm giving you guys ideas here of what you can do instead, because there are limitless opportunities of what you can do instead of posting on social media, but please don't try to do them all at the same time. Fast recipe for burnout. Okay, so again, this is my bundles and summits tracker, and you can see here that I participated in about 50, I want to say, bundles and summits. I grew my list by 6,100 new subscribers. So I also had over 1,600 people who were already on my list opt into some of my freebies or come hear me speak. But I was able to get 6,100 new people on my email list because of that. So that was a great strategy for me. I also now want to shift gears a little bit and talk about what's working now in terms of funnels. So let me just pause, check the chat, make sure I'm not missing anything here. Matt, am I good to keep going? I think we had a question about a bundle, but I think Natalie answered it. How do you find bundles? Okay, so yes, this is, I have a whole course on how to find bundles and summits to participate in. But the short answer is that there are a ton of Facebook groups where people who host bundles and summits post when they're hosting them and they're looking for contributors. And so this is like one of the few cases where I use social media is I'm a member of these Facebook groups. I might go into the Facebook group, scroll, find, 5 bundles or summits that I could apply to and then leave. And so that's generally how I find them, but I have a lot of other strategies to help you with that as well. Okay, so shifting into funnels. So in the past, the funnel system kind of looked like this. It was the classic triangle where at the top you might have your lead magnet, and as people move down through your funnel, eventually you make them an offer. But the thing that I've seen changing in funnels and just the way of consumer, buying behavior over the last few years, and especially this past year, is that this really doesn't work anymore because people need more than one touch point. They need longer nurture periods. They need a longer time to really trust you. I think I've been hearing about how we're in kind of this trust recession right now. And I can see that happening even in my own business and in my peers. And so what I've seen instead is kind of having this funnel ecosystem where it's no longer that somebody opts into your list and they go through one funnel one time and then that just works and you don't have to do anything else. Now what I see is this ecosystem where somebody still is, they're finding you. You've got your free search optimized content. There's lead magnets, discovery calls, consults, other kinds of visibility like we talked about. So you're attracting new people. And then you might have a funnel that they're going to go through where you're giving them some kind of welcome series. There's maybe some offers in there. You might have some tripwires and things set up. And we're going to talk about some of those in a minute here. But it's not just one single funnel. You've got multiple funnels happening in the background of your business. These are all automated. You set it up once and you're not having to constantly show up live and show up when like be on 24/7. And then in between that time, you're nurturing people because there are some people who are going to buy right away. They're going to get on your email list, get a couple emails and convert. And there are some people who are going to have to go through this cycle multiple times. And maybe if you have multiple offers, they might buy one offer, but they're going to have to stay in your ecosystem going through this over and over to get to the other offers. So this is kind of the way I see it working now. And I see lots of different funnels that are working in tandem with each other. So one of those funnels is the classic tripwire funnel. The tripwire funnel is basically you have a lead magnet or some kind of freebie that gets somebody on your email list. And when they opt in, the thank you page is a limited time offer for a low ticket product. So generally you would have something probably between $7 and $47 here. It would be discounted from the normal price. And you would have like a 15-minute offer to get people to buy this thing. And so the tripwire funnel basically works like that. Somebody gets on your email list, they're immediately presented with a really juicy, irresistible discount, and you get them to become a buyer immediately after joining your email list. You can add to this tripwire funnel by if they say, yes, I want this thing on the checkout page, you might have a bump offer where this is kind of like if you're at the grocery store and it's like, oh yeah, throw in some gum or a magazine or something. That's what the bump offer is. This is well, I'm already here. I might as well add this other thing. So it's maybe a complementary thing to what the tripwire offer is. And then you could take that even a step further and add a one-click upsell. And this would be where they've checked out now, and on the thank you page for the checkout, they're now seeing another offer that is usually, again, either a limited time discount or just a really juicy offer for something. And all they have to do is say, yes, add this to my cart. They don't have to go through the whole checkout process again. They're just able to click a button and then it adds it to the cart, or they can say, no, thanks, I don't want this now. So this is the tripwire funnel. This is one of the most important and successful funnels I have ever implemented into my business. And if you're feeling like this won't work for service providers, I want to give you a few ideas for some low ticket entry points for ops people. So you might offer something either as a tripwire offer, as a bump offer, or as an upsell offer. These are all going to be more smaller, very specific offers to get them one thing quickly. You want to be thinking about what's a quick win so that I can turn this low ticket buyer into a high ticket client. And so that you might have something like an audit. This could be a 90-minute session or a 30-minute session reviewing something like their systems or identifying gaps. And that could lead to a $2,000 a month retainer. You might do like a launch debrief session. I'm giving you a few ideas that are still requiring your time. I usually reserve anything that's requiring your time rather than like a passive product sale that's either like a self-study course or a template or a tracker or something like that. I reserve those more for bumps and upsells rather than the tripwire offer because you want to get the most number of people buying your tripwire. So you can't sell unlimited numbers of spots for things that require your time. But I think some of these are just lower ticket examples to help get your wheels turning of what you might be able to offer. So it could be a launch debrief session. It could be a system setup session. Maybe for some of these more passive products, it could be an inbox zero course or an email challenge. It could be, where you're showing them how to manage their inbox. And then that leads into your offer to offer ongoing admin support. Maybe you have an Airtable client onboarding system. And so that's your tripwire offer. They get access to your Airtable base. And then you have in your follow-up funnels things that can lead to ongoing client management. You could do a tech stack audit, a mini course on team communication, teaching them how to implement, maybe it's a ClickUp training or something like that, which leads to team management services. So again, there's lots of different ways you could play this out. And I see Joe saying, where do you sell these audits? So I'm not sure if I understand your question, Joe. What I'm talking about here is that you're selling your own audits in your own Tripwire funnel. So somebody opts in, and that maybe the Tripwire is like a ClickUp template that leads to a checkout page with an option to add on a ClickUp audit from you. So that could be an example of something that y'all could do that I think fits more your expertise. We also have lots of other kinds of funnels here too that I'll just quickly review. But basically, there's an SLO funnel. It's called a self-liquidating offer funnel. This is very similar to Tripwires, except instead of leading somebody to a freebie, you're leading them directly to a low ticket offer. We say self-liquidating because this is usually if you're running paid ads. So let's say you're running paid ads to a $17 template. And then that template, somebody buys it. Now you've offset the cost of your ad spend. Hopefully it's either broken even or you've made a profit. But at least it's offset some of the ad spend, if not covered all of it. And then again, you kind of lead them through this checkout page with a bump offer and an upsell. We also have a welcome funnel that I recommend everybody have. So this would be after somebody opts into your email list, they're going to get a series of at least 3 to 5 emails where you're telling them about who you are, how you can help them, and actually making them offers, giving them a way to start working with you right away. This is again why I think having some low ticket entry point products can help you get people quick wins, and those people are so much more likely to then hire you for some of your higher ticket packages, your retainers, and more of your services once they've already gotten a quick win from you. And a lot of times your quick win, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's showing them like, here, let me help you solve this problem. But in solving this problem, we've now identified the other larger problems that are going on in your business. And that's where my ongoing support, or where this VIP day, or where this larger package can come into play. So again, all of my offers, I recommend to increase the average order value and to get people used to buying more from you. I have bumps and upsells on every single thing that I sell. So I recommend doing the same thing in your business. And they could be the same thing. Like if you only have 3 offers total, you can still set this up. You have your some kind of template or a mini course or a tracker or something like that. Then maybe you have more of an audit style, 1 hour type offer. And then you have your higher ticket package. So even with just those 3 things, you could implement all of these funnels. Abandoned cart funnels are also really awesome. This is where somebody goes to checkout and then they leave. And this is just a follow-up email sequence. And again, you get them back, and on the checkout page, there's the bump and the upsell. And then we have some of these things that I'm calling invisible funnels. And so this is kind of what happens after they purchase. They're going to get onboarding emails. And these emails are also going to continue selling people into your offers again, whether it's as retention or renewals or upsells and cross sells, or we're going to get them into some feedback loops. So I want to talk a little bit about these invisible funnels. So where I use these a lot of times is either in like a buyer's nurture sequence, like we talked about here. So I might have a sequence, somebody bought something from me. I'm sending them some email follow-ups, welcoming them to the thing that they purchased. Then I might ask them in another email, have you actually used the thing that you purchased? I'm trying to get them to implement, because your best clients are going to be those who actually implement what you're teaching them. And then I might offer to upsell them into coaching, or upsell them into a higher ticket offer, or even just a cross-sell offer. If you liked this, you'll love this. So I have some of those buyer nurture sequences happening. I also have in portal upsells. So when somebody buys something from me, there's always going to be a portal, even if it's a service-based business or service-based offer that they're buying. And so I'm still going to have them log into a portal. Well, I'm going to have things like an intake form, and I'm going to have information about how they book their calls or how something works. So we go through that process. And in the portal, I also have like, hey, here's a coupon code for something else. So I have upsells and cross sells inside my portals as well. And then one of my favorite things that I've implemented in the past year is these feedback loops. So I have a lot of check-ins that I do. I have a monthly check-in form that I send all of my clients, no matter what they've purchased from me, We also have like intake forms and feedback requests and things like that. And when somebody fills this out, I respond to them. And so I have actually set up an automation where I have ChatGPT help me respond to them. I still have a human touch coming in before it's actually sending the email out, but it's something that can help me review what they shared, craft a thoughtful response, and then I can go in, add my human touch. And now I've like simplified this process, but people are hearing from me all the time, and it's able to start conversations. And those conversations also often lead to more sales. So this has been a really helpful thing. And especially if you're trying to sell services, I think this has been one of the most helpful things, because you start a conversation, people start telling you more about, what's missing and where they're getting stuck. And then you say, well, great, I can help you with that. Okay, checking the chat. So what platform they're opting in on. So most email service providers and what am I trying to say? Checkout processors can do this, but there are definitely some that I recommend. Kartra is my absolute favorite platform. It does all of this all in one place. It's super easy to learn. We have courses teaching you how to set up tripwire funnels, how to set up all these different kinds of funnels, including tech tutorials. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. But Kartra is the software that I use, and I absolutely love it. Nicholas says, do you have recommended price point for the bump offers? Yeah, so the answer is a little, I'm going to just drop this in the chat here. Oops. Okay, hold on, people. Let me see. There we go. /Kartra. Okay, this is my Kartra link, and I actually have a slide coming up about tech, so we can get to that too. But yes, it's Kartra, and so where was I? I'm so sorry. I just lost my train of thought here. We have courses for all of this, teaching all of this, price points. That's what it was. Okay, so a recommended price point for the bump offer. This isn't a simple, like, this is the price point. It really depends on what the offer is and what the tripwire offer was, because I think some things have to work in tandem. But I do have kind of like some formulas that we teach for what to follow. And generally, I would say a bump offer I would have be less than $100. And it could be at full price, or you could offer the bump at a discount. I think that works best because people are like, ooh, I can add this thing, and like only at checkout are they able to get the bump offer for 50% off or something. So a lot of my bump offers are less than $50. Again, you want to think of it, it's like, it's more of the impulse buy of like, oh, I'm already here. Yeah, I might as well add that on. That'd be great. That's a great compliment to what I'm already doing. So I don't add like super expensive or high price stuff as a bump offer. Is it better to offer a free tripwire offer or have it be low cost? Well, a free tripwire offer is not a tripwire offer. That's just a freebie. So you already have the freebie that people are opting into. That's your lead magnet or some kind of freebie that you're already giving them. And after they opt in, the tripwire is a low cost offer. You actually want them to buy something from you. So it's not a freebie. Hopefully that's clear. Okay, I'm going to keep going. I know we are getting close to the end here. So similar to tripwires, I set up something that I call pop-up discounts. And this is true for every single one of my offers. So every time somebody lands on the sales page for one of my offers, they get this little pop-up discount that says it's only $7 for the next 15 minutes. And this is true for courses and for other things that I sell up to $200+. And we'll give them 15 minutes to get it for just $7. And this has absolutely been the most powerful thing I have ever done in my business. This is 100% why I am able to make daily sales. And I have been amazed at the response by this, at people who buy something for $7 are so grateful and excited that they then go on to buy so many other things from me, including full price offers. They go on, sometimes people buy multiple, like they realize, oh my gosh, every single one of these, every single thing that she's selling here, I can get for $7 right now. So a lot of people go on and end up buying lots of things at one time in my catalog. And they become great affiliate partners because they were able to get such a quick win. And it has been just the most impactful thing that I have done in my business. So I highly recommend having a low ticket entry point that leads to your services and adding tripwire offers on these. Now, the caveat that I want to make sure I am very clear about, I would only ever offer a discount like this on a passive product. Never put a pop-up discount for $7 on something like your time, coaching, services, anything where it actually requires you to show up and deliver something. This is only for things that I could sell a billion of them and it wouldn't cost me anything extra. So just want to make sure that's super clear of when you want to use these discounts. And if you're still feeling like, but I don't have products to sell, you don't need dozens of courses. You really only need one good entry point that showcases your expertise. So you can think of it like a paid consultation that just solves one specific problem while demonstrating how you work. And if you feel like services don't sell like products do, you're right, services are relationship based, but that doesn't mean you can't systematize how you build those relationships. So every touch point from that first maybe tripwire offer, that first template or tracker or mini course or something that you're offering them, to the discovery call, to the contract renewal, this can all be optimized and partially automated. And that's what I'm sharing here in some of these invisible funnels that we're just automating the process as well so that you can spend your time actually serving your clients. Because you can't scale without trading time for money. Like the goal isn't to eliminate all your time, it's to make sure the time you spend is on high value activities. So when clients find you, instead of constantly posting into the abyss on social media, your onboarding is smooth and professional. Your systems handle the routine stuff. And that's when you can charge the premium rates and work with better clients. All right. One of the last things on my list here, what is working now for me is selling this all access pass. So if you have a premium program or service, I highly recommend considering selling it as an all access pass and then breaking each of those components inside that service into bite-sized offers and then selling it in more of this shop style format. It doesn't have to be like on Shopify. You can just sell it on your regular website, but having like everything in one place where people can see all the different things that you offer and they can either buy things a la carte or they can get everything for a fraction of the price by buying something as like your all access pass. This is what I've done with my program, the Mindful Business Academy, which I'm going to tell you guys about shortly. But essentially, you can buy the Mindful Business Academy, or if you're like, I don't actually need everything now, I'd rather just get the Tripwires course, well, then you can do that. So this is a great way for those of you who are here thinking like, I do have a great package, but I don't have any products to sell. Well, is there anything in that package that you could sell a la carte and break it into more bite-sized pieces? Adjusting my price and offer suite to be more accessible and scalable like this was one of the best decisions I've ever made. To keep my signature offer, but break those individual components out so that I could meet people where they're at. So all roads still lead to MBA. All roads can still lead to your signature package, your signature service. But for people who don't want everything all at once or they can't afford it, now we have options to support them. And having multiple offers has really been a game changer in my business. You don't have to start out with 30. You can start out with 3. Okay. Lastly, flexible pricing. Flexible service delivery. So adjusting my service delivery to be more asynchronous has been really helpful for me as well. People had a lot of Zoom fatigue after the COVID years. I think we're still seeing a lot of that. And so what I found to be really helpful for both my introverted self and my low capacity self is to offer communication asynchronously via Slack or Voxer or Looms. Sometimes somebody will submit something like you need to audit somebody's ClickUp, for example. Okay, great. You don't have to do that live on Zoom with them. They could give you access to their ClickUp and you could record a Loom audit for them. And having client portals with self-service and add-on support. It has been such a game changer for me, my schedule, and the results that everybody's getting. And it means that people don't have to keep waiting for a time on your calendar, because you guys can both show up when you're available. And this flexible service delivery has really changed the game for me. I also do live implementation weeks in my business. And this has, again, I feel like I'm saying this has been such a huge game changer. I've made a lot of changes to my business in the last few years, and I'm so proud of the things that I've done because they work so well. So basically, we have these get it done weeks once a month. Next month, or this month, actually, it is June already. Oh my gosh. So in June, we're having a creating your AI ready copywriting sidekick. We're giving you like showing you how to create a brand voice guide so that you can train any AI tool to sound exactly like you. And so we're going to do this live with our clients. There's prizes for getting it done. There's live co-working calls and trainings, and it really just incentivizes people to take action. This is something like we charge for this inside our membership called The Room. And so we host these every single month. And what's really exciting for service providers is like you can offer your own version of this live implementation for your clients. What we're seeing, especially with the rise of AI, is that information is kind of cheap now. Like people don't need more information. They can learn anything just by typing something into ChatGPT. But how many of your clients have projects that have been sitting on their to-do list for months, like the email system they need to set up, or the launch they keep postponing, or team onboarding process that they need to prioritize? So you can help them by doing these live implementation sessions. This is more of a one-to-many type offer. So you show up once, but you can serve multiple people at a time. And instead of those projects dragging on for months with back and forth revisions, you can say, let's knock this out in one focused week. And so this is another way that you can move from just trading time for money to selling transformation and results and getting your clients faster outcomes. You'll have better margins and everybody wins. The last thing is tech. So having simple, streamlined tech in my business has been a huge game changer. I mentioned Kartra is the tool that I use. There's, of course, dozens of options out there. But I run my entire funnel system and tech stack with one tool, Kartra, and I don't need Zaps to connect any of this. It's not complicated. And so, oh, did somebody say something? Okay. I think maybe somebody accidentally muted. Keep going. Anyway, so Kartra is the tool that I use. And if you're interested in learning more about it, I've got tons of resources on my website and you can check that out. But it allows you to do all of the things that I just shared as strategies. So the result of all of this, the financial benefits are daily sales. This is an Airtable tracker that I've created, and you can see I did this screenshot yesterday. So yesterday I was on day 346 of daily sales. My daily average for the last 30 days is making over $400 a day. Same for the last 365 days. I'm almost at $500 a day. And I make multiple sales every day. My average client spends over $500 with me. And so you can have this too. Even as a service provider, consistent income means predictability and security. And passive sales allow you to take time off, to enjoy your life, and to still make money. And it just reduces the need for these big stressful launches or chasing sales, constantly posting on social media. So I think that is really what true freedom looks like. And for me, and this is a little bit different than a service-based business, but the result for me is also a clear and spacious calendar. And a lot of this is due to the asynchronous nature of what I do. And even of my services are done mostly asynchronously, except for a couple of live Zoom calls. So this is what my calendar looked like for a week in April. And this is what it looks like pretty much every week. I usually have a couple of calls. I meet with my mastermind. I have Voxer office hours and my coaching call inside the room. That's about it. So this is amazing to me. And this is what I teach in the Mindful Business Academy. So I'm going to move into kind of the pitch portion of this, if you'll let me. I promise I'll be quick here. I know we're at the top of the hour now, but the Mindful Business Academy is my all access pass. It's your social media free path to six figures. And I know that you might be thinking that it sounds amazing, but you're still hesitant, thinking I'm not a course creator. Will MBA actually work for my service business? So again, I just want to be absolutely clear. MBA is not about turning you into a course creator if you don't want to be. It's about equipping your service-based business with the powerful automated client attraction system and retention systems that high-earning entrepreneurs use regardless of what they sell. So I want to tell you a little bit about what's really inside MBA that will transform your service-based business. So in MBA, you'll get the client attraction system that I use. The SEO training alone is worth the entire investment, to be honest. When someone Googles OBM for coaches or VA or operations specialist, you want to be one of the first results that they see. And so I'll show you exactly how to rank for the keywords your ideal clients are searching for. You don't have to hope that the algorithm is going to show your content to the right people. You'll learn how to position yourself as the expert. The visibility training that we have in here shows you how to get featured on podcasts and summits and other people's audiences, how to collaborate, how to borrow other people's audiences to grow your own, not as someone just trying to sell something, but as the go-to expert in your field. So when you buy MBA, you get access to everything I've ever created: courses, templates, custom GPTs, training, and it's all for one majorly discounted price. And Natalie's got a special coupon code for y'all today too, that you can get it even further discounted and get $500 off. So MBA is your lifetime all access pass to my entire digital library. The only thing not included is coaching. And it's the only social free system teaching service providers how to build a high profit, low maintenance business that's designed around your energy, your values, and your actual life. So it's one enrollment, lifetime access, instant relief. You're going to learn you'll learn how to master the art of relationship-based email marketing, so you can forget the gross pushy sales emails. You'll learn how to write emails that position you as the trusted expert, sharing client wins, behind the scenes insights, and just valuable tips that will make your subscribers think, I need to work with this person. I have a magazine style newsletter strategy that is perfect for service providers. You'll learn how to stay top of mind with potential clients and referral partners without being salesy. And you'll have an email system that automatically nurtures leads, educates them on your value, and guides them to book consultation calls with you, to sign up for your services, all while you're focused on client work, not on client attraction. And that's what the Evergreen Funnel Formula and Email Empowerment Engine course is inside MBA will help you build. So we also have systems for scaling your services without burnout, because as a service provider, I know that time is your most valuable asset, and MBA is packed with lessons on streamlining your operations, which I know you guys are already experts in, but we help you automate what you can, create systems. We have a course called Scale Smart and Clockwork Queen, so that you're not reinventing the wheel with every new client. And you can serve your clients and serve your existing clients better without working in there that I don't sell anywhere else. We have some hidden gems. We have upcoming launches that are still under wraps. I usually add at least a handful of courses every single year to MBA, and you get free lifetime access to those, and just products that aren't even available for sale anywhere else. But it's really not just training. It's like your entire business infrastructure. Like, you're not just getting courses, you're getting the exact templates I use for client onboarding, for email sequences, for tripwire funnels. Literally, if you use Kartra, you can one-click install and import my entire tripwire funnel, my entire evergreen sequence into your Kartra account with one click of a button. You get access to our private community of other service providers who are building without social. We have a monthly group coaching call where you can get your specific questions answered. And you also get access to dozens of templates, SOPs, manuals, dashboards, and lots of done for you documentation. We have our 9-grid templates that I talked about in the beginning. We've got swipe copy for everything. We have SEO checklists and tutorials, tech tutorials for everything, spreadsheet trackers for everything. And we've got a private and highly active Slack channel community, because I'm not on social media. So in our Slack channel community, You've got weekly accountability threads, win celebrations, and just encouragement for people who are in your shoes doing this with you. You always get a response from me and our accountability coach, Rachel, within 24 hours in the Slack channel. So you can ask any questions there. And we have tons of clients that are getting great results that are just like you. So some of you might know Jessica Nori Johnson. She is a director of operations certified with Natalie. And she said that relaunching her business without social media seemed impossible until she joined her first Get It Done week with me last summer, thanks to an email from Nat. And as an operator, she says, I always felt like my time was better spent elsewhere. Kate helped me shift my focus to aligned marketing strategies like SEO, email marketing, and collaborations. And now I run my own version of Get It Done weeks to push projects across the finish line, prioritizing my business while still serving others. And it's made a huge difference for me. Likewise, Molly is, irony of all ironies, Molly is one of my Instagram clients. She is an Instagram agency owner. So she is also a service provider. But she said that when she met me, she was paying herself pennies. And thanks to the strategies that she learned in MBA, she made her first of many evergreen sales, had her first $10,000 month, tripled her income in 1 year, had a multiple six-figure gross revenue, by far the best money she's ever invested into her business. So I would love for you to be up here on this page next time I deliver this presentation, sharing your amazing results. MBA, I want to talk a little bit about the value. If it helps you land just one new retainer client you wouldn't have otherwise gotten, it's paid for itself many times over. If it helps you set up one automated funnel that brings in consistent bookings each month, what is that peace of mind and predictable income worth to you? And remember Christina, the nutritionist who went from $400 a month to $2,500 a month and landed a $30,000 contract without social media while working a full-time job. She's a service provider. These systems work for service providers. So in the bonuses, you'll also get one free group coaching call per month, like I mentioned. We also assign you accountability groups with peers. So this is something that we pair you up with a like-minded person inside MBA, and you can create your own accountability group. Again, we have the private Slack channel, and everybody who joins during this week with Natalie's link will get one free month inside the room, and you can do our Get It Done week with us. This is a $97 value normally. And inside the room, our Get It Done week I mentioned is how to train your AI to sound exactly like you. That's what we're going to be doing. Actually, next week, we start June 10th. So we'd love to see you all there. And I just want to, of course, I know you're all wondering what the cost of everything is. So we have lots of different payment options to help meet you where you're at. So normally the price of MBA is $2,000. But if you use the code NAT500, you'll get 25% off, which is a $500 savings. You can go to successwithsoul.co/MBA and just put in that coupon code to get your $500 off. That brings the pay in full price down to $1,500. So with you pay in full, you'll also get over $600 in one-on-one coaching bonuses. We're going to give you 3 Unstuck Voxer sessions. So these are one-on-one coaching on Voxer that you can use anytime in your first 12 months. And you'll also get 3 personalized critiques. This is like the Loom feedback that I mentioned. We do this for our clients as well. You can submit basically anything, and we will critique your work, give you an audit, and some constructive feedback for you. So if you pay in full, that's $1,500. We do have a payment plan. So I'm very proud to offer in-house payment plans starting at just $217 a month. And actually, because you're getting the $500 off, it is $125 a month, I think, around that price. I can't remember exactly what the price is, but it's even less than $217 a month. This is no interest. It is not a subscription. It's not a membership. It is a payment plan. You have to complete all 12 payments. But if you prefer a payment plan to paying in full, we do have that available. We also have some buy now, pay later options with like Affirm and Klarna. And you can get started with those at just $70 a month. So on checkout, you'll see all the details about that. And so, yeah, that's the price of everything. And I think it's worth noting, like, the real cost of not having these systems. Every month you don't have these systems in place. Like, are you losing potential clients who can't find you online? Are you working harder than you need to because you're manually doing what could be automated? Are you leaving money on the table because you don't have strategic entry points that lead to bigger contracts? And are you burning out from the constant hustle of trying to find your next client on social media? So how much is it costing you if you book just one additional client because of the systems you build an MBA? It pays for itself. All right, I think that is the end. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer those. I know the chat has kind of been blowing up, so I'm going to come take a look. You can always email me after the fact at hi@successwithsoul.co. I would love to hear from you. And now we'll stop sharing my screen and come back for the live Q&A. Thanks, everybody. That was super fun. I hope that you learned a lot and got some new ideas about how to grow your service business without social media.
Thank you, Kate. That was so, so good. I am going to actually, Tara, do you have a question first? Oh, okay. I just saw you.
I was saying thank you, goodbye.
Oh, thanks, Tara.
Wonderful.
Got it. Love it.
Bye.
Well, I love to be able to, bring her into this audience because I know a lot of us are looking for, and we can all laugh together when we say passive, but a lot of us are working with clients and we get a lot of fuel from that just because of the way that we're wired and the gifts that we have. And then over time, we're looking for more of a hybrid. And that's exactly was my path. I was, straight service provider, which is how I made my first 6 figures in 6 months. And I don't like to talk like that because that's like, it feels like bro marketing, but it is true. In my first 6 months, I had no social media presence. I was truly, working and investing specifically in my clients' businesses. And after doing that and seeing success in theirs, I was like, wait, I kind of want to do some of this too. And so then I started to adapt more into a hybrid type of business, which is where I pulled in many of the, obviously it's how I met you guys, which is by taking my knowledge and productizing it and then sharing that with a larger audience. And so I've taken a similar path that many of you guys aspire to do. And even if you don't, Kate has done a great job of showing you how you can bring in an audience and then also, take that audience and move it down a funnel per se into still getting paid for people who can't or shouldn't be working with you or you don't have capacity for, but then also deepening that relationship into a higher paying, higher contact opportunity for you down the road. So I thank you, Kate, again. The social media piece of this is like, I took down so many notes and I cannot wait to share them. We have a team call. And so I will temper myself and get myself together before I share this with them because I've got a team here to help me do this, but we've got lots of things going on. I wanted to answer some of the questions that came up that are very specific to our director of operations alumni. And we're talking about, they came up around the strategic mapping model. I think Joe had asked the question about, hold on just one second. I wish Zoom had like the thumb, like I could like pin. Yeah. So I could just remember these without.
How would our strategic mapping model be able to be broken apart, or would this even be allowed? Is that the question you're looking for?
There was one before that, but I can answer that as well. The strategic mapping model can never be taught in our license. It's a license, and underneath that license, you're not allowed to teach that, right? So I own the rights to be able to teach that, and you guys own the rights to be able to share that with a client in a one-to-one or in a one-to-one setting. So you're not going to be able to take strategic mapping and unleash it in a course like this. But there was a question around the tripwire into getting some with the high ticket offer at the end of being able to sell them into strategic mapping. And I would suggest doing like a mini audit. This is going to be very different. And my recommendation for you, if we were talking in one-to-one, would come back to who your audience is, what level of audience you have, et cetera. But just high level without knowing all of that, I would say selling a mini audit, not a humongous audit, not what you want to do, which is which is bigger than what you should be giving away or selling for or in exchange for a low priced tripwire. But a mini audit, or in the strategic mapping model, one of the strategic objectives, if you have a real affinity for one of those and that's a pain point that your audience has, taking that and providing that as a solution. So maybe if it's team growth, if that's the type of people that you are working with that are in a scaling of their team, then maybe putting something from a solution from the team expansion, putting something like that as your tripwire. Or maybe it's the visibility. You've got 7 different objectives. If you've got one that you have a solution for, a template for, something that you provide to your people that you've already productized, this would be the first thing that you could productize and put that as your tripwire. That would lead them down the awareness. Number one, it would bring them a lot of proof that you provide solutions. And number 2, that you have the ability to provide them strategy as they move forward. So there's an infinite number of solutions that I could bring you, but those were just top of mind, what we have. So anybody have any questions who's still here? I know we've run a little bit over time, and I see a lot of familiar faces, brave gals who are happy to ask questions. So if you have any questions, this would be a great time for us to share those with you.
And I just wanted to say too that I think Hilma said she was getting an error code with the coupon. So I just fixed it. It should be working now. So if you can try it again and let me know, just while we're live, I would want to make sure it's not broken.
Another thing that I wanted to share with you guys, if you're considering this, is a lot of y'all have partnered with me even after the DOO program inside of our inner circle. And these are very complimentary, as Jessica's the one who actually pointed this out to us. I've known Kate for a very long time, but Jessica happened to partner with her, and she was seeing she's also in inner circle. She has started to get such and build traction in a very different way than how I am able to coach her. So she's got these 2 programs and these 2 people to learn from that are complementary, but also very different. I'm not going to teach you how to build a funnel. That's absolutely outside of my wheelhouse. We talk a lot about navigating client relationships and more on the service side. So if you're looking to build in a hybrid business, or if you're looking for those digital marketing solutions, I fully trust Kate and how she's doing this, because if you've listened to her throughout her presentation and you know about me, I am definitely family forward. I left a high stress, high paying, a very egotistical and fulfilling, I know all of that together, corporate space to be able to walk into a land of unknown and build this for myself. And I think our audience, you're here probably because that message rings true for you too. And you want to do this in a way where you can build scale and also serve in a way using your God-given gifts, which is what I have been able to do and Kate has been able to do. So I kind of feel like I'm passing the torch for those of you guys who are interested in building and leveraging some of the techniques and tools that Kate has talked about. She's the person I trust to do this. We are not short on the number of people and influences and influencers around us that are teaching us how to do this. And I've worked with a lot of them. I've worked on their teams, and a lot of people that I have really just know to not trust because of what they're teaching and how they teach it. I fully trust that Kate understands where we are coming from and is able to bridge that gap in the most beautiful way of anyone that I've been able to know in this space. So with that, I hope that you guys are, dive in this. If nothing else, which is my true heart, if nothing else, take the social media piece and start to explore that. I took notes. Y'all know this from me being me, but I took a full page of notes on things that I want to explore and things that she's educated me on today. So I hope you guys have the same fruit, that you are leaving with the same fruit as me. Kate, want to wrap it up?
Yeah, sounds good. I saw, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Nicola, I'm not sure, but I see your question here. how to get the Get It Done weeks work. And so I just want to clarify, are you asking how my Get It Done weeks work or how you could implement Get It Done weeks in your business? She's still here. Yes, she is.
Sorry, I thought I'd just come off mute. Just how I could implement it in my business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many ways that you could implement this. Like, I can tell you how I've done it in mine and what's been most successful. I've tried it a lot of different ways. I've tried selling it as a standalone product. Like, you could just sign up to do Get It Done weeks with us. In January of this year, I've actually moved it inside my membership. So you have to be in my membership if you want to do Get It Done weeks with us. That has converted much better for me. And I feel like I get people better results. They join multiple Get It Done weeks because now they're in the membership. And so then they're getting better results. And then I have that recurring revenue. So I really like doing it that way. But basically, in terms of hosting it, you could do it. I've seen some, I got the idea from Elizabeth Goddard. And she hosted Get It Done weeks. And it was basically just like, buy her course on this topic and complete the thing. And then you submit at the end of it, you submit that you did the work, like proof of your work, and she would promote you to her email list. And I was like, wow, that's such a great idea. But I kind of took it and amplified it way up because I felt like people needed like implementation time with me, not just take the course. And like, I mean, the incentive helps for sure. But again, like I said, like information, I feel like people already have plenty of courses. It's actually doing the thing. So we have like a kickoff call. We have a co-working call. A lot of times in one of those calls, I'll do like a tech demo if it makes sense for whatever the topic is. I have daily prompts that for everybody who's doing the challenge with us, they get a daily prompt in their email and in our Slack channel that basically says like, here's your homework today, here's your action item, here's where you should be in the process. Like, we have a very complete checklist. So I've made it very comprehensive now to make it really easy for people to just follow along and get results. So you could do it something like that, or you could keep it really simple like Lizzie does and just say, if you do this thing on your own, I'm incentivizing you to actually do it. And that's kind of it. So it really just depends how much support you want to provide for your people.
All right, friends.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone for being here. You will all be hearing from me this week with some more info about MBA. If it's not the right fit for you, that's totally fine. I've got a million other offers that you can take a look at. I saw a bunch of people saying they wanted to book a call with me, which is absolutely great. You can totally do that. And maybe Natalie, I'll send you the link for my call if they want to do that instead. But MBA is my baby and my, all access, everything. And I think it's a great step. Jessica, one of the DOOs from that, has just been one of our most successful clients, and I've absolutely loved working with her. So I'm sure that would be the case for the rest of you. And I hope to be able to work with y'all in some capacity in the near future. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for having me, Nat. It was super fun.
Awesome. Bye, friends. Thank you, Kate.
Bye.